Welcome to Wesley Impact. I'm Keith Garner. If you had the opportunity to work with children and young people, what's the one thing you'd like them to remember from the contribution you make? Welcome to Wesley Impact. The fourth episode in a series looking at the cross-section of Wesley Mission's work lies ahead. And today we're looking at Wesley Mission's work with children and young people through Wesley Vision Valley. Liz Scott will be joining us to sing Captivating, and I'll be taking a look at the crossroads and the life that we lead there from Matthew 7. In a recent Wesley Impact magazine, which is available online, we featured Jessica Warner from Wesley Vision Valley, who I'll be speaking with in just a few moments. Wesley Vision Valley is a key part of Wesley Mission's work amongst young people across our state. Established under Alan Walker, today we continue the work for a new and emerging generation of young people. Here's a look at our work at Vision Valley.
Hello, I'm Carl Stefanovic. Welcome to this special Sunday edition of A Current Affair. And tonight, that video. The moment when a 15-year-old boy said, "Enough is enough."
They were saying that I was dumb, I wasn't smart enough, I didn't want to go to school, I didn't want to get out of bed. My mum found it really hard to try to get me back on track to going to school and everything, but it just got worse. I used to hit people when they said things about me, and at one stage I actually ended up getting suspended from school. I just couldn't take it, I snapped. It was just a little bit too much for me.
When Sinead arrived, she was quite quiet. She actually came with another person that she knew that had been through the program before. She didn't really talk to many people. She was a bit like depressed, sort of like a bit sad. She wasn't sure on how the program was going to go.
I was severely nerve-wracked about it. I wasn't in my surroundings, in my element, and I had no idea what was coming to me. And then everyone was just so friendly and nice and kind and caring. Jess, to be honest, I see her as more as a sister to me. She will listen to you. She is always there. Vision Valley has really helped me. They helped me open up. They helped me realize what I was doing was wrong and I should be the bigger person. They said it's okay to be you. It's okay to let people know what's going on, so then you don't have to have that guilt and worry behind it. And then after that, I just forgot about everything, and everything kind of dulled down after that.
Operation Hope is there to build their self-esteem and confidence. It's early intervention, so they come out here, they're affirmed by the leaders, they have fun, they can go home with those skills, they can go back to school with those skills as well.
I've learnt a lot from Vision Valley, and what I would say to everyone, it's the best experience you can have. When I went through the program, I felt happy, and my mum came back and saw a real difference. Now I look forward to going to school and look forward to seeing friends who care about me.
Sinead is one story, but I get probably about 250 stories of these a year. We have our bullying cases, but we also have domestic violence and foster care kids, out-of-home kids, and these kids are like 14 and they don't have a place to go.
The practical and encouraging thing about Operation Hope is that the more resources we receive, the more children we can actually support. We've already got, as you can see, this wonderful facility. It's been here for 40 years. And then you add to that, we've got Wesley Mission's 200 years of experience and presence in this area, and particularly in helping young people and children. And all that comes together on one site. So for $600 per child, we can support them and turn past experiences into a springboard so that they can have an exciting future.
I feel that I do have a future to look forward to. I do have that hope that I could be something bigger than I thought I'd be before.
If you would like to see more of the work of Wesley Mission, visit wesleymission.org.au. You can watch loads more videos, catch up on past episodes of Wesley Impact TV, find out about our diverse range of services, and get involved to help make a positive difference in your community. You can also connect with us on social media and stay up to date on the latest news and information from Wesley Mission. wesleymission.org.au.
Jessica Warner, the manager of Vision Valley, joins me today. Jessica, good to have you.
Thank you.
Look, you began working in camps, in camping in the USA. How did all that come about?
I think when I was finishing high school, I wasn't quite sure what to do, and my intent was to become a physiotherapist. And I decided that I'd heard on the radio an advert for Camp Counselors USA, and I thought, you know what, I'll give that a go. And so I went over there for one summer, and my one summer turned into 7 years.
And there you met your husband?
That's absolutely right.
Everything come together then, didn't it?
That's right.
So when for you did the Christian faith become real?
I grew up in the Salvation Army, and then I sort of drifted away from that in my high school years. And when I met my husband, we sort of found a church in the US, and felt like that was really central to our lives and to us starting our family together.
And now you're working at Vision Valley. How does your role fit in with your faith?
Oh, it's very central to what I do, and I think we're being very blessed with Wesley Vision Valley to have a site that Alan Walker started because his intent was to bring people together to connect with God in the community and with each other. And I think being able to have God as a central part of what I do allows me to really lead my team and the young people that come to Wesley Vision Valley. And
it's a great setting, isn't it, for young people to go away for a week or do something and to find faith in that kind of setting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, God's created such a great area for Wesley Vision Valley, you know, and it's every day is different, but it's such a beautiful place. Whether it's raining, whether the sun's out, you know, it's just such a great place for young people.
Tell me about some of the programs you run, because it isn't just a case of people going there. You see lives transformed by some of those programs.
That's right. So we run school programs or school holiday programs where young people may come to us for a day and we'll do recreation with them. Or we might have school groups that will come through their school camping curriculum, and so we'll share time with them through that as well. And then we'll also have
the
church
Operation
groups.
Hope group.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is that all about? Because you know, I read about it. I think people want to know, what does it mean?
So Operation Hope is working with youth at risk, and so we're identified some young people that are from homes of domestic violence or drug and alcohol abuse, and we're really using the outdoors and the wilderness to provide therapy for these young people and really give them an environment to change.
Is it that some of the activities you do have a message within them? You know, you don't just say, we're going on a swing here, but they might involve trust or them.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So we take them onto our high ropes course, and we may be building trust or resilience and really working with a young person to even climb up a telephone pole as a part of the activity and essentially jump off at the end attached to a rope. And it's at that time where you've got a young person standing on the edge of a telephone pole ready to jump that you can really change somebody. And I've worked with kids from gangs in Chicago, and it's at that time where you're with them 13 metres off the ground that they start to really listen to what you have to say and really start to learn to trust people and trust adults again.
Because you might watch everybody doing it, but when you're actually there and you've to jump, it's a different thing.
That's absolutely right.
Tell us about some of the challenges you face in running somewhere like Vision Valley.
I think it's people have such great expectations about what we do, and I guess it's really being able to deliver on those expectations, and also to provide an environment for young people to have a good time, but also to teach them and to nurture them and to allow them to learn how to build relationships with people, I think is the biggest challenge for us.
What about some of the stories, the things that have been good about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we've had a young person over a week and you can see a great transformation. So you might have a young person that will start on a Monday and be really shy and really introverted, like Sinead's story. And then by the end of the week, they're full of life, and you can really see that our team has worked with these young people, but they've also had an opportunity to see how God can work in their world and in their life as well. And so we'll equip them with some skills and techniques to work with once they leave us at the end of the week.
And you can actually see that change occur.
Yeah, absolutely. For a couple of people, it'll be a light bulb and it's really vivid. But for some people, it might be something that will change over time, and we might see them in 6 months' time and really see that there's a huge change around trust and resilience and independence.
And there's been other kind of courses there too. I know there's been courses for fathers held from the wider Wesley Mission and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. With Brighter Futures, we've had the father-son and father-children weekends, and that's really an opportunity for the fathers to spend time with their children and learn about being a great father, and we use the environment to foster that change.
What about plans for the future?
We hope to just continue doing what we're doing. We hope to then take kids further afield into the wilderness and do a lot of additional adventure therapy with these young people, and putting them into environments where they it's a controlled trust environment. So we're really controlling how we can foster change amongst these young kids. So continue working with our young people, but we really want to work with a whole lot more.
Yeah, and many from the city, presumably, that have never been exposed to that kind of... is it that Bear Grylls stuff is also appearing, isn't it? Not that I watch this stuff, but that's all changing the way people are prepared to do things.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
Yeah. Jessica, thanks for sharing with us about the work of Vision Valley. Do you feel excited about working there?
I absolutely love it. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so that's really great that you enjoy doing it. You've got a good team around you.
We definitely do. We're very fortunate to have the leaders that we've got within our team. So a lot of trust within those guys when I'm letting them out on expeditions or out on our high ropes course. So definitely got the right people that love our young people and that are there to really foster change.
Jessica, lovely to have you on the show. Now joining us is Liz Scott, who's been with us before, and now she's going to sing a wonderful song called Captivating.
You've got my attention now, beautiful Lord of all creation. You've won my affection now, beautiful Lord of all the earth. And I've turned my face to you, your Holy Spirit compels me to. Oh, I've fixed my gaze on you. My eyes are eager to see the King, for you are captivating. You are captivating. Holy, holy, I will sing. You are captivating. You hold my attentive gaze. I'm longing to glimpse more of your mystery. My eyes set upon your face. I'm holding this faith unswervingly. Oh, I've set my sights on you. My spirit yearns for your throne room. Oh, you look upon my face with love. You look with fervor. I'm drawn in further, for you are captivating. You are captivating. Holy, holy, I will sing. You are captivating.
It's been 200 years since the first Methodists met in Australia. To celebrate 2 centuries of faith and pioneering care, CEO and presenter Rev Dr. Keith Garner takes us back to where it all began.
But we don't begin here at the heart of London. We begin in a town in the north of England.
In this fascinating narrative, Rev Garner chronicles the history of the life and times of the founder of Methodism, John Wesley. This fresh and thought-provoking documentary takes us on a journey throughout the United Kingdom, beginning in John Wesley's hometown of Epworth.
John Wesley was born here on the 17th of June, 1703.
This 1-hour DVD travels onto his education years and beginnings of social justice in Oxford, to his final years in London. For more information on John Wesley, the man and his mission, call 02 9263 5555 or email us at impacttv@wesleymission.org.au.
As we move into the 7th chapter of Matthew, that's the 3rd in the Sermon on the Mount, we have some practical injunctions about making sure that we don't judge others, and then encouraging us to seek God's guidance. But I just want to read to you 2 verses and then to offer some thoughts. They're 2 verses with a very powerful message. So in chapter 7 of Matthew, verses 13 and 14. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. When we reach this point in the Sermon on the Mount, there's some debate among scholars and writers on Matthew's Gospel as to whether the main sermon or the main group and gathering of teaching that's been brought together has come to a close and that we're moving to an application or a conclusion might have begun. It's clear that Jesus outlines the feeling of a crossroads where choices have to be made. You know what it's like if you're driving down the road, you come to the end of the road and you've got to go one way or the other. And the sign doesn't really help you too much, but you have to make a choice. We're given an alternative as to whether we are to choose a broad way or a narrow way. Now, first of all, before I talk about that, I want to strike out of your minds and your thinking the perception that you might have about narrow. Because we usually talk about somebody being narrow-minded, narrow in their thinking, narrow in their perception. In other words, they don't like this or they don't like that. They're a very, very restrictive way of looking at the world. Now, that's not really what Jesus is talking about. He isn't saying, I want a narrow-minded group of followers. He isn't saying, let's all be narrow-minded. But he's saying that the narrow way relates to the call of Christ to take him seriously. And that might be tough. It might be hard. It might be something that really is a challenge to take. In every part of our lives, we're presented with choices. And there are some decisions we cannot avoid. I think one of the difficult things that some people have in life is facing choices. Choices have to be there. You can't avoid them. They are simply part of life. And if you might want to be one of those people that goes through life and say, I don't want to make any choices, you'll find it very, very difficult to live life. And the choice which Jesus confronts people then and now with in this passage makes all the difference to the way our lives are ultimately led and whether we find fulfillment and purpose. The choices we make and take define so much of the way we live. Jesus tells us in a very small period of time, a very small number of verses, of a way that few people will find. Let me suggest some of the differences between the 2 ways. There's an easy way and a hard way. Now, in life, lots of us would like to do the easy thing rather than the hard thing, but there is no easy way to greatness or goodness. It often involves hard work, it often involves commitment, it certainly always involves following somebody very closely. And of course, in terms of discipleship, it's following Jesus, his way, his words, his precepts, the way he tells us to look at life. Choose that way. It may be a narrow way, but it's certainly one that produces fruit in our lives. There's a short way or a long way. Now, there's nothing worse than the person who always wants the shortcut in life. When we drive down a road and we say, oh, well, I think there's a shortcut down here. But you know, it isn't always the shortcut. And we may prefer the short way, but the best in life is never achieved by trying to find shortcuts. We have to face up to the reality of what is there. And that's why Jesus talked about the narrow way rather than the broad way and the easy way. There's the thoughtless and the thoughtful way. We may consider very carefully what choices we're to make in life. And at the crossroads, we're presented with startling options. We should never take the easy, the short, or the thoughtless way, for that will not produce any deep sense of satisfaction in our lives. Now, in life, these choices are really there before us. Now, they could happen in a very, very powerful way at a very significant moment, but I think these choices happen moment by moment. They are the things that constitute our lives. We can choose to respond this way or that way. We can choose to be condemning, or we can choose to be accepting. We can choose to be the kind of person that is prepared to learn all about a person's life, or we can be the kind of person that chooses to have it all summed up in 5 minutes. And you can't really do that. If you're going to engage and commit yourself to the best in life, and we've heard from Jessica how working with young people in camps involves a commitment to work with them in difficult circumstances. If we're prepared to do that, we have to give ourselves to it, and that certainly isn't a shortcut. I mean, I like the story of them being there on a rope and they're at that moment. And at that moment, it can be an enormous learning point. I mean, when I've been at Vision Valley, I've done some of those swings and some of those difficult exercises. And I know that it involves a great deal of trust. You give yourself to the trustworthiness you have about the equipment. You give yourself to what is there because you trust the people that's working that equipment. All of that is important because that's what it means to choose the narrow way rather than choose an easy way. And in life, that's so with people too. As we trust people, as we engage with people, and as we know what it is to work alongside people, we have to trust them if we're going to get anything out of this life. So Jesus has been telling many things in this Sermon on the Mount. He's been talking about prayer. He's been talking about fasting. He's been talking about practical things in life. He offered to us, as we studied just a few weeks ago, he offered to us those Beatitudes, the way that we might live. And those Beatitudes were challenging. They weren't a set of easy precepts. They were real. They were dynamic. They were life-changing. So as he draws to a close in the Sermon on the Mount, he makes it clear that there really are narrow and wide gates. They're set before you, and you must choose them. In my study at home, upstairs in the house, there's a picture there of the broad and narrow way that I have on the wall. And it's very interesting that the broad and narrow way is perceived differently in every age. What does it mean to follow the narrow way in our life today? Well, it means being prepared to take the tough decisions. It means being prepared to stand up for Jesus Christ. It means prepared to be in those places that are difficult, to work for people, for young people, for the marginalised, for those in challenging situations, and to make it possible for wins for them. William Barclay, the Scottish theologian and writer, concluded his study on this passage with these words: "The only way to get our values right is to see not the beginning, but the end of the way. To see things not in the light of time, but wait for it, in the light of eternity." That's the Jesus Christ way.
If you would like to contact Keith and find out more about today's program, write to us at Wesley Mission, Post Office Box A5555, Sydney South 1235. Or you can send an email to impacttv@wesleymission.org.au. On our website, you can catch up on past episodes of Wesley Impact, find out more about our work, read online magazines and articles, and connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also connect to Keith's blog and stay up to date on all of the latest news and information from Wesley Mission. wesleymission.org.au.
Why don't you take a look at that Wesley Mission website? I think you'll be excited at what you find. You can be in touch with us, ask questions, anything you might want to inquire about the range of work that we undertake at Wesley Mission in caring for our community. I want to thank you for joining us today, and if you're new, stick with us again for further programmes. And thanks also to Jessica from Wesley Vision Valley in sharing with us something of the work that goes on there. Join us next week for the final episode in this series looking at the cross-section of Wesley Mission's work. I hope you'll join us. I'll be speaking to Paul Mendham, and you can contact us on our website and be in touch with us. So thank you and God bless you.
More than 20,000 people visit Wesley Vision Valley each year. To find out more, visit wesleymission.org.au.